Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a food prep video. I hope this gives you tons of ideas on breakfast freezer meals. I have some snacks in this one and just lots of little things to help me make things a little bit easier as a busy mama of two. If you are new here, make sure you go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. I would love to have you. I do tons of cooking on my channel. I upload what's for dinners every single Sunday. I do lifestyle and a little bit of motherhood sprinkled in the mix. So if that is something that you are interested in, make sure you go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. But without further ado, let's get into all of the food prep. To start off, I am going to be making our favorite blueberry pancakes. So here I am just adding in 1 1/4 cup of milk and a little bit of lemon juice. You need buttermilk for this recipe, but I never have any on hand, so I just like to make my own that way. And I'm setting that aside and mixing up all of my dry ingredients next. You're gonna need 1 1/4 cup of regular all-purpose flour. You'll need 1 teaspoon of baking soda as well as 1 teaspoon of baking powder. You'll also need 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and then go ahead and give all of that a quick stir. You can mix all of your wet ingredients up separately if you like, but I'm kind of lazy and I usually will just throw it right into the bowl. So you're gonna need 1 egg, and then you're gonna dump in your 1 1/4 cup of milk. I like to do a little bit of vanilla in mine, and then give all of that a good mix. The recipe calls for about 1/4 cup of sugar, but when I'm adding blueberries, I usually will do a little bit less. I would say that I add about 1/6 cup of sugar, and that seems to be about right for when I add blueberries too. And then you'll also need 2 tablespoons of butter, and mix all of that up really well. Whenever I am making pancakes, I will almost always pull out the griddle. I just think it's so much faster that way. So if you have not invested in one, I would definitely suggest getting one. It makes it so much easier. And like I mentioned before, I like having blueberry pancakes. So I'm just washing some fresh blueberries to put in our pancakes. I'm sure all of you guys know how to make pancakes at this point, but I just spray our griddle with a little bit of spray, and then I like to put the batter on there first and then add the blueberries. Some people will mix the blueberries right into the batter in the bowl, but I always feel like they just sink to the bottom when I do that, and then the blueberries aren't as distributed well, so this is just how I do ours. Pancakes are one of my all-time favorite freezer breakfast meals. A lot of times I will make pancakes on the weekend and I'll just go ahead and make a double batch, and then I have tons to freeze for leftovers. Brinley likes eating these for breakfast, and so does Easton, so they're just super easy for me. If you know me, I am not a morning person at all, and I hate making breakfast in the morning for my kids. I know that sounds bad, but I'm just not a morning person. So this is like the one meal I just need to have something ready to go, and it needs to be easy or I'm just not gonna do it. So pancakes is a go-to in our house, and I definitely recommend this recipe. It's an IHOP copycat recipe. I will have it linked down below so it's easy to follow along for you guys. And to freeze these, I just put them in a Ziploc bag. Do make sure that they're really well cooled off, because if you put them in there when they're a little bit warm, they're just not going to turn out as good. They get kind of mushy. So make sure they're cooled off, and then just go ahead, stick them in a freezer Ziploc and stick them in your freezer. And that is about it for this one. It's super simple and easy. I wanted to share one more super easy breakfast prep idea. I am just taking some Texas toast and I'm going to be making these into French toast sticks. Now, I have always made French toast for in the freezer. It's super easy, but these French toast sticks are on another level. They're super delicious and I swear they taste so much better than just regular French toast. So I would highly recommend trying out this recipe if you have never made French toast sticks before. So for the French toast sticks, you're going to start off by taking a loaf of bread and you actually want it to sit out for a little bit. I'm not talking hours, but I let mine sit out for probably like 20 minutes. You want it to just kind of start drying out just a little bit, nothing crazy, but then you're just going to cut them into sticks. I will say you kind of do want to use like the Texas toast bread. It's a little bit thicker and it just makes better sticks for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut each piece into 4. For the egg mixture for this French toast, you really can make it however you normally make your French toast, but I'm going to show you how I make mine. I'm starting off with about 7 eggs and adding in some vanilla. I do quite a bit, probably like a tablespoon if I was trying to measure. And then I did a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar. I feel like the flavor of the brown sugar is just amazing in there and I absolutely love it. For seasonings, I'm just doing a little bit of nutmeg, which I know is not typical, but trust me on this one, it's super good. And then I'm also doing cinnamon, like I think most people do on their French toast, but mixing all of that up together and this makes a super good French toast. And then I think I ended up adding about 1.5 cups of milk if I remember right, and that was about right for this French toast. It was a really good recipe. I'm just using that same griddle to make my French toast sticks on. You're going to want to make sure that everything is really well dipped and then try and get a lot of that excess off so it's not like super soggy wet, and then just go ahead and throw those on your griddle. You do want to make sure that all 4 sides are cooked. You want them to be nice and crispy so they don't end up soggy. I made sure to do the 2 main sides really well, and then the smaller, shorter sides I did for just like a couple minutes, and these turned out super delicious. Definitely recommend making these. My toddler really liked them and I feel like he thought they were fun because they were French toast sticks versus just a regular piece of French toast. Once all of your French toast sticks are nice and crispy and they're good and brown on every single side, you're going to be coating these in some cinnamon and sugar. This tastes so good. I did probably like 1/4 cup of sugar and mixed it with a little bit of cinnamon. You can do a little bit more or less just depending on what you like. And then you're just going to simply toss all of those French toast sticks right into the bag and shake it all up until everything is nice and well coated. I was able to do about 3 batches of these French toast sticks, and they turned out so good. I did add a little bit of extra cinnamon into the mixture just because I felt like a lot of the cinnamon stuck to that first batch, and I didn't want to not have any on the rest of the batches. I'm not going to bore you with watching me cook every single one of these batches. I will say they did take a little bit time to make these, but they were really worth it. I usually give Easton about 3 of them for breakfast, and it's just super quick and easy. I just throw them in my air fryer. It takes probably like 2 to 3 minutes, and they come out perfect. They're just like nice and crispy and super delicious. So if you have a little bit of time, this is definitely a recipe worth making, and my toddler really enjoyed it. I did have a little bit of the egg mixture left over, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so I ended up just making some regular French toast too. This is what I would normally do, but I will say the French toast sticks are a little bit better, so if you have some extra time, do it that way because they're so good. But that is what you see me doing here, just making some regular French toast. As far as packaging these up, I just put them right into a freezer Ziploc, and that worked just fine. So that's what I would recommend doing. I separated the regular French toast, and then I did the French toast sticks in just a different bag. And for reheating these, you can definitely do them in the microwave if you want, although they probably won't be as crispy. I've been doing ours in the air fryer, so a toaster oven would work really good if you don't have an air fryer, but that is how I've been reheating them, and they don't take long at all. So it's a really nice and super quick and easy breakfast. Next up, I am actually making some cheese sticks for my husband to take with him to work. He is working crazy hours right now, so I've been packing him a lot of snacks in his lunches, and one of his favorites is actually cheese sticks, but they get kind of pricey, and I feel like they just are more processed than if you were to cut up your own cheese. I learned this little hack from Kelly's Corner here on YouTube, and I thought it was genius. It's so much cheaper to do it this way, so I'm just cutting up some cheese for him. They may not look like perfect little cheese sticks, but they definitely work, and he actually really likes them like this too. So that is what I'm doing here, and I'm just throwing those in a little container, and they'll all be all ready to go in the fridge. Alright, so moving on, I'm going to be prepping a veggie for both of my kids. This is something that I always try and do because if I don't have a vegetable that's easy for me to just like pop in the microwave and warm up, then I tend to not always give them a vegetable. I try really hard to give them a vegetable with lunch and dinner, so I try and keep one in the fridge that's just easy for me to warm up for those lazy meals and I didn't cook a veggie. This is what I give them. So today I'm going to be making some roasted carrots. And I do not peel my carrots, I just scrub them off really well. That's how my mom always used to do it, and that's just how I do it now. And then I'm just cutting them up into carrot sticks. So since my kids are young, I obviously can't really give them raw carrot sticks just because they're a choking hazard, especially Brentley. But even Easton, I don't really give him raw vegetables unless it's like cucumbers. Sometimes I'll give him peppers, but I try to not give him a ton of raw vegetables just because of choking reasons. But I'm just cutting these up into carrot sticks, and then I'm going to be roasting them in the oven. If you are enjoying this video so far, please make sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really boosts the video in YouTube's algorithm, and I really appreciate it. And it also lets me know that you guys like this type of content, and then I will make these videos a little bit more often. So make sure you do that, and then leave me a comment down below. I love chatting with you guys and just getting to know you a little bit better. If you do something to meal prep or food prep at all in your week, leave me a comment and let me know what you do, because I would love to try out different ideas. I'm always looking for something to make mom life a little bit easier. When it comes to roasting vegetables, I like to keep it really simple. I just do a little bit of olive oil and do a really light hand of salt and pepper because it is for my 2 kiddos. And then I did a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. Give that a quick toss, and that is about it. It doesn't get much simpler than this. I am just spraying my baking sheet with a little bit of olive oil. You could also go ahead and use like aluminum foil or something, but I like to just do a thin layer of oil. And then I'm just tossing my carrots right on there and popping them into the oven. Mine took about 30 minutes to cook, and I set my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, my little guy had to come help me with these, so I'm just tossing them right into a little Tupperware container and popping those in my fridge. These lasted a couple of days for us. I think it lasted like 3-4 days, and I just give my kids a couple with lunches or with dinner if I didn't cook a veggie, and it seriously makes my life so much more simple to give them a veggie every single time. Next up, I am making our favorite banana bread muffins. I like to add chocolate chips to ours, and I promise you they're absolutely delicious. So I'm just starting off with a cup of sugar in my stand mixer, and then I'm adding in half a cup of butter or margarine. I like to use Smart Balance, and that seems to work really well. So I'm just adding that all into my stand mixer and creaming it together. Once your butter and sugar mixture is nice and creamy, you're going to be adding in 2 eggs. And of course, since this is banana bread, we're going to need some bananas. I am doing 3 of them, and as you can see, mine are very, very ripe, and that is exactly how you want them. That makes the banana bread nice and sweet and super delicious. Definitely would not recommend using bananas that are very green. You want them to be as ripe as possible. Once all of your bananas are totally mashed up and combined in that batter, you're going to be adding in your dry ingredients. I like to use 1 cup of regular flour and 1 cup of wheat flour just to make it a little bit healthier, but you can definitely just do 2 cups of the regular flour if you prefer it that way. And then I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of baking soda and mixing all of that together. So you can be done with the batter at this point if you want. You can just make normal banana bread muffins. You can also pour it into just like a regular bread pan if you prefer it that way. But I always like to add chocolate chips to ours. I just think it makes them taste even better. So I'm adding probably about like a cup or so of the semi-sweet chocolate chips. Sometimes I do the mini ones, sometimes I do the regular ones, and sometimes I don't do any at all. But this is so good. We love our banana bread chocolate chip muffins. They are delicious. My husband loves taking these to work, and Easton also loves having them for a snack as well. So this recipe will make about 15 muffins. I just like to pop them into a regular muffin tin. I spray it with a little bit of oil, or you can go ahead and line your tins if you want. But I am just putting in batter, and I fill them up about 3/4 of a way filled, and it doesn't seem to overflow or anything. It works pretty well that way. And then I just throw these into a 350-degree oven. Mine usually take right around 20 minutes. Just keep a close eye on them, and you know they're done when they're a little bit golden brown and a toothpick inserted in the middle is nice and clean when it comes out. Then just go ahead and throw these onto a cooling rack and make sure they are all the way cool, and then they'll be ready to throw in your freezer. To freeze these, I am just putting them into another Ziploc bag. It's just super quick and easy. There's nothing complicated about this. You just toss them in a Ziploc as soon as they are cooled off, and that is all you have to do. I usually will leave a few out to eat fresh, but that is it for this super easy muffin recipe. We absolutely love this one. The last thing that I'm going to be making today is just some boiled eggs. This is another thing that my husband really likes to take to work for lunches or for a quick and easy snack. And Easton also really likes boiled eggs, so I make them a ton in this house. On this particular day, I was running low on eggs, so I only made 6 of them, but I did about 1 1/4 cup of water in there, and then I tossed all 6 eggs right onto the rack. And then I'm just going to pressure cook this for 5 minutes. Once your eggs have pressure cooked for 5 minutes, you're going to do 5 minutes of the natural release, and then you're going to throw them right into some ice water for 5 minutes. So I use the 5-5-5 method. I'll have that linked down below just so it's nice and easy for you guys to follow along. But once they have released a little bit of steam for 5 minutes, do the full release of the steam, and then you're going to put them right into the ice water for the 5 minutes. And usually when I make boiled eggs, I will just go ahead and peel them right away. And the easiest way to store them in the fridge once they're peeled is to put them in a glass bowl and cover them with water. This keeps them fresher that way, but you do want to make sure to change out the water daily, and that is what I have seen recommended. So that is what I do. But that was the last recipe that I'm going to be sharing today. I hope you enjoyed this meal prep video. If you did, make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below if you liked it, if you would like to see more of these in the future, because I can definitely make them. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. I would love to have you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide